Hey, what's popular, everybody? Oh, that's supposed to be like, you know, the Christopher Reeves theme. Oh, fuck it. All right, so, hey, welcome back. What's popular, everybody? We're doing a Braves toy review, and we're taking a look at the MAFEX BvS Batman Ben Fleck in his regular costume, not the armored, and Superman. Okay, so first things first, big ups goes out to Crashbox, that is Pinkerton from the ROC, for sending me these figures. They are freaking figures that I'm freaking going to take a look at right now. All right, these figures have their pluses, they have their negatives. They're pros, they're fucking cons. You got a pro, you got a con. You got a con, you got a pro, you got a con, you got a pro. Like, both of them got their pros and cons, right? So, let's, before we get too negative off the bat, let's take a look at some of the things that we do like about these figures. All right, cool. First things first. The texturing of the figures is really cool. Like, MAFEX kind of really went out. Like, they went all out on that. So you can take a look at Superman, Henry Cavill, man, here. And the face sculpt is pretty good on this guy. Like, it's not a bad face sculpt at all. I find it to be quite pleasing. Look at that, capturing that handsome hunk of hope, right? And then, of course, that pose is crazy, right? And then, of course, the texture all throughout the character, like, it's just all the way from top to bottom is textured, layered and textured. Great job. Costume, great job. Great job. Colors, great job. Articulation, I gotta give them credit for going above and beyond and hitting that mode dead on. It really does look like that movie Batman, right? And his costume is just the sculpt work on the costume is just so superb. Look at that texture. Anytime you can touch a figure and feel it raised lines, it just feels awesome. And I think one of the things that makes you want to give them credit for these figures above all else is the cloth good capes. And they have wiring in the capes, right? In different places. Like, so for Batman, because you're obviously going to want to get the Batman spread cape effect, right? Cool. Yeah, that's so cool. You got the wire on the sides of the cape. Now, the issue that I have with the cape, if I have to point out anything, is I would like it to be a little bit longer. Not that in the movie it was much longer, because it's not one of those draping dragon capes, but I still would have preferred for it to be a little bit longer, and the edging to be a little bit better. I wanted the edge. I like my Batman's edging on the cape to be a little more menacing, right? Now on Superman's cape, they have the wiring at the bottom, because if you remember, if you recall, when you watch the Superman, the Man of Steel movies and the BvS, his cape always seems to crinkle here at the bottom when he's flying. He's doing like super speed. He's like, check it out, he's going, and he yells, he flies faster because I'm yelling, So, and like the cape will switch to one side, switch to the other side, and it's like all like, you know, curved up at the bottom. So that was really smart on their part, and the material is pretty decent, pretty well sculpted, pretty well stitched there. And I like the way they secure it here at the base of the collar. Oh, look at that Man of Steel pose. He's gonna get a trophy. He keeps on posing like that. And his is all crinkled here, which gives it a little more of a menacing look. And I'm down for that. That cape's got some spread. Baby. So those are all positives for these characters, right? So sculpt work, paint work. You got check out, you got some gold there in the boot. Look at that boot, got some gold there on the tip. Kind of like MC Hammer boots. See that? He could probably be too legit to quit too. All right. And then let's check it out. Okay, sculpt work, right? The fucking utility belt is dope. Look at that. Gold on black. I like that use of color, right? And it so captures the movie character. Look at that gauntlet. And it's got like the spikes on it. Yeah, it can hurt somebody with that. I hurt somebody with that. And so, those are all the bonuses. And then they both come with a few accessories. Henry Cavill, man, not so much as the old bats there. But he does come with some accessories. He has his alternate head, which is his, because I'm shooting lasers out of my eyes. I'm angry, Cavill, man. You're getting nauseous, aren't you? I mean, it's a good head sculpt. My only issue is that the eyes should probably have some more piercing red. Something's not. Like, okay, so if you see the Play Arts Kai alternate head, you know how it's got like the paint works there on the eyes and around the lids to make it seem that energy's busting through. He really needs that. Mine is that he just kind of looks like, blind Superman, which doesn't really work. He has his natural set of fisty hands, which are just so tiny for when he's flying at super speeds. He's got his semi-pointing, semi-grabbing, kind of floating in space hands with the weird flash on the nails that's just looking like, hey, you've got some nasty digits, buddy. And then he has his open hand, open palm, I'm just kind of floating over you because I'm Superman, I'm a god looking down on you hands, which are probably the best and safest hands to go with out of the 3 pairs that he comes with, and we'll get more on that in a minute. He also comes with this flight stand here, which both figures come with, and it just kind of, it sucks. It's not the worst, but the way it holds, it just sucks. So, yeah. Now, Batman, who's clearly my favorite of the two, comes with a bit more to offer in the way of accessories. He's got his punching the shit out of baddies, bat fists. He's got his, hey, look at me, I'm about to throw a batarang finger hands. If you got little miniature business cards, they can also double as Batman's Bruce Wayne Bat business card hands, which also beckons our attention to his BvS Ben Affleck, Ben Flick, Batman Batarang accessory, which it's like you should have had more than just one, but it's okay. If you're a hardcore classics Batman lover and you didn't like the dark direction of Batman and BvS, you can also double for the Batman Bat Dance fingers. Or by simply repositioning one hand, you can now use them as the I got my eyes on you fingers. See that? Eyes on you fingers, or eye to eye fingers, or I've got a splitting migraine. And finally, I wonder if I should shave bat fingers. So he's got these semi-open, semi-closed gas grenade finna chuck it hands, which are perfect incidentally for holding his gas grenade. Ew, look at that joint gappage. He's got a pair of pistol grip hands, which call attention to his grapple gun that has such great detail. Some of you may remember the DC Multiverse figures that are out in most Walmarts, Targets, and Toys R Us. They contain a Build-A-Figure part, which is more like a Build-A-Weapon part, and they actually built this part, except that thing sucked balls. This thing doesn't. It's a small black piece with a little bit of silver paint here, there, and a brown hilt, as well as black detail all throughout it. It's a really nice piece with a really nice sculpt. Here's his grenade launching gun, which he holds as well. Got a little bit of detail in there. It's all black, single black cast with a little bit of detail all through it. A nice sculpt work. You can look at all the tactical rails and everything on it, and then of course the grenade launcher that's attached. It does not come off. Yet again, I call attention to the gappage in between those joints, and I keep calling attention to it because I'm going to bring it up later. I'm going to recommend this. If you want him to put these weapons in his hands, I'm going to suggest, also got a black hole in the center there. I really dig that. I'm going to suggest that you put those weapons in his hands before putting his hands on those joints. More on that later. And finally, he has these open palm hands that are more so for Shakespearean plays like Romeo, wherefore out there, or Romeo, wherefore out thou, or some shit like that. So he can literally speak to Superman as Superman is flying overhead when he says, "Do you bleed? You will. They can also be used as holding my cape back hands or looking really cool in the pose hands. That is not white on his head. That is actual glistening from my lights. He also comes with these other two closed fist hands, which are pretty pointless because he already has closed fist hands, but at the same time, they're actually better than the original closed fist hands that comes on him when he's packaged. So I would say use these instead. All right, now, having spent a good 11 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 1 minute for me bullshit talking on all the positives of the figure, let's get into the BS bullshit. Well, wait a minute. I want anybody saying, oh, brief, you tear some pain and fear. I'm going to give you a few more seconds of the positive shit, all right? Just to recap, face sculpt, off the chain, very nice, really likes, look at that, really good. Decent as can be. Textured costume, digging that. Ab crunch on a swivel type deal here. No twist. We'll get into that. There you go. There you go. It's a little tight, but he's got it. The utility belt does not come off. It is not a free moving piece, but it is a very nice sculpt. He's got a cod piece there. He's got some really nice detail in his legs. More texture as you go. The boots really capture what it looks like in the actual movie. He's got his too legit to quit chrome pieces on his boot there. He's got nice little bits of copper in his gloves and in his little hilt things there. So the costume is dead on. The line work, all of that shit is great. And of course he has a real cape, cloth cape with wire in it that allows you to get all of the dope cape poses. Now let's get into the real problems concerning these figures here. Okay, same thing with Henry Cavill over there. Costume looks glorious, but there are a few issues that I would be remiss if I did not mention, namely the motherfucking joints. The joints are a fucking problem. Look at it right now. He's looking like, what? Yeah, bro, your joints. What? Yeah, your fucking joints are a problem. Well, on Batman specifically, all right, Henry has the same deal, but on him it's more of a problem. All right, the way this joint right here works is it's kind of like on a it's on a ball, it's on a hinge, and then it goes into a cup inside of there. But if you take a look at the top there, right, there's no grooves here, so you can't get all the way up. You can't get a full arm motion, range of motion going straight up. You have to twist his arm out like that, and it's just because of the way his traps and his lats are and his chest here are sculpted. You just don't get a full range of motion as far as throwing that arm up without it popping out of socket. And that's a clear look at the sockets, right, and the joints. See that hinge ball right there fits into this right here. All right, you're gonna get a lot of that. You're gonna get a lot of that popping out of place and popping it back in place. But have no fear because it does go right back into place. All right, on the legs, what makes the legs awkward themselves is you have, again, that universal ball joint here, right? And then you have it going into a cup, and then you have it going into the upper thigh on a peg, right? Well, the problem is there is no other swivel there, here or here on the legs. So it really makes for a difficult pose. Okay, perfect. You get that same ball joint going into the upper portion of the leg, but then you also have a swivel right there, and then you have a swivel here. That makes for far better posing. Unlike these guys who just can't seem to get fucking right. It all just comes out looking stupid as shit. Like, it just looks awkward, dude. Like, and then because the legs and the thigh area cuts up into here, like, right, to fill in the gaps. But this is a hard plastic, unlike some of the other figures like Figma and other figures who would have a soft plastic here, right? I think even SH Figure Arts have kind of stepped into that realm as well, as putting softer plastics here for the cod piece. You really can't get any flex out of there, so it can limit the motion, like especially here in the back. And for a figure priced around the price point of these MAFEX figures, you don't want that. And these joints are always like just hanging down and shit. It's just real weird. All right, going into the you got a bicep swivel there, and you got double articulation points here at the elbow on the hinge, right? Which is really cool. It's quite, I can deal with that. All right. You get the swivel here because of the little ball pegs here, but they protrude. They're always out. You can always see that hinge, and it's really, oh my God, it's really just an eyesore. And depending on which hands you have on either of these figures, it really stands out. Take a look at Henry Cavill over there. I'm gonna call him Henry Cavill. His mama named him Henry Cavill. I'm gonna call him Henry Cavill. You take a look at Henry Cavill. Same deal with this guy right here. You got the hinges. Now some of the hands are better because they have a bit of an indenture on the inside. So when you plug it in, it kind of covers it a little bit more. But like when we showed you that fist earlier, dude, that shit is fucking horrendous. Like, you can see the whole fucking ball sticking out like that. That just fucking sucks, right? And then what makes it worse on him, for instance, is the ball joint, the ball peg is a different color from the rest of the flesh color of the hand. And that's really unfortunate. Going back to Batman, because he is the best example of some shit that's just not fucking working. All right, you get down here in the ankles, right? And Henry's got the same shit going. Oh, his is a little bit different, but again, you can see that fucking joint. It's a problem. It wouldn't be a major problem if it wasn't done so poorly, but it is done very bad, and it just causes a problem. And now here's the next thing. They're not loose joints. They're not. But for some reason, the way they are made, the way they work, the way they fit in, you can get a standing pose and you're good. But when you start trying to like get him down in the dynamics and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like this is terrible. He's not gonna stand. I mean, he's not. And granted, most figures aren't gonna stand in the craziest poses, but his ankles are just really weak, and they really collapse under the weight of the rest of his body. Not that he's so freaking heavy, but it's just you have to perfectly center his weight to get any pose to hold. He also has those weird knees that you see with a lot of SH figure arts, but I can live with that. This is not a big deal for me. But these deals here, like if you want him to get down on some spread leg posing, it's not going down. So that's just a big problem, right? Let's look at Henry right quick. All right, so some of Henry's design flaws are the feet there. And I know those feet resemble the movie, but it just looks awkward on the toy. I really do not like that long toe thing, right? You do get articulation in the toe, which is cool. That's a hell of a bend in that toe, right? And the ankle is much better on this one because the ball joint is up in there and it's hidden. So that's cool. That one works, right? And I think because of that, he probably gets better posability. Let's see. His does feel a little bit stiffer. Pause. But it's just a lack of range, man. So it's a lot of the same shit. A lot of the same shit. So that's the issue. And again, now they obviously learned from their mistakes on that Batman with Henry Cavill, right? Because again, a great deal more space here. And Henry's figure has way more shoulder than the Batman's figure does, right? But look at that. You can go straight up with the shoulder, with the arm piece, right? Not all the way up, but close enough, right? And so it just works much better than the Batman joint. Can we pop that off? Yeah. It just works much better. Same joint, but it just works much better. Now, where Henry does have a problem is when you go take his head off, that pops out. And you can see inside, you can see how that works, right? It's more stiff here in the neck than it is at the base of the neck. And so you're going to see that pop out a few times, but not a problem. You can put it right back in. So that's a good thing. I mean, it's a give and take. They're just really awkward and like just really fiddly for whatever reason because of these joints. You dig what I'm saying? They're not terrible figures. I do like them. I'm still in for them. I still want the armored bats. I still want the Harley Quinn, and I want the Joker when it comes out, and whatever else they make, I'll just make decisions from there, right? But let's be honest. Let's be honest, true and fair to what's really going on here. MAFEX is still learning, and for those of you who don't know, MAFEX is a subline of Medicom, right? They make those 12-inch figures, right? So they're still learning, I think, in my opinion. They're still learning as to what it takes to make these figures good. And I want to give them credit for trying because these are far better than that original Batman they put out for the Dark Knight line. I didn't fuck with the Catwoman. I didn't fuck with the Joker. I didn't fuck with the Joker Goon. Strictly on the strength of how sucky that Batman was. And then, of course, having that hard plastic cape. I like the idea of having a real cape with the wire in it. That really, really does it for me. But these guys, man, I'm serious. These guys, dude, you got to work on them joints. MAFEX, you got to work on them joints. Face sculpts are fine. Costumes are fine. Body sculpts are on point. They're really good. I mean, the body sculpts, the figure sculpts are on point. The color is great. Look how rich that red is and that yellow is, or gold rather, in his Superman insignia. It makes you feel hopeful because on his planet it stands for hope. Look at those bright blue lines throughout his costume and that what the fuck color that is inside of his belt. Those colors are great. It's really rich, and even in the boot, the color in the boot is really great, man. There's some really great work here, really great effort, but they fuck up on the joints, and that kills it. They fuck up on the joints. I could take the ankles and the wrists protruding. I could take those ball joints protruding, but you got to make it. You've got to do better. There's just no other way of putting it. All right, and one last thing I want to say. These little posts, these little stems here, those are terrible. Those are terrible. They're going to break. Let me see if I can get you in there to take a look at that. This little part here, at some point, look how flexible that is. That's going to snap off. And some of these hands, be careful, because some of those handholds, some of those handholds aren't, I guess, dug all the way out is the best way I can put it. I don't know. So you have to kind of work the hand in there. And in doing that, you could snap your shit. So just keep that in consideration. I really do recommend, as far as putting weapons in Batman's hand and Ben Flexman's hands, take the hand off and then put the weapon in there. As a matter of fact, you might want to let the hand soak in a little bit of hot water just for a second to loosen it up. You dig what I'm saying? So, hey, check it out. This is Bray's Toy Review. We are taking a look at the MAFEX BvS Superman and Batman, or Henry Cavill and Ben Fleck, as I like to call them. I'm going to say, yeah, pick them up, man. Pick them up. At no horrible cost to yourself, man. Pick them up, dude. If you can get them for around $40 to $45, I would say it's good. But be forewarned of the things that I've talked to you about. To be real, to be honest with you motherfuckers, and you'll see more of this in my upcoming Best Big Black Batman for Your Big Batman Bucks video. That's who's really got you when it comes down to to a high quality Batman. Let's wait and see what Mezco 112 does with their BvS and their Suicide Squad movies. Hey, until next time, I am Bray. This is Bray's Toy Review. Check out my vlogs, man. Please continue to watch the toy reviews. I'm really appreciating all the support that I'm getting, man. You guys check out Toy Detox. The podcast is up weekly on Thursdays. You can check out our Facebook. You can check out our Instagram. You can check out Bray's Toy Review group. Soon the Braves Toy Review Facebook page. You can check me out on Instagram and the tweeters. If you like what I'm doing or you don't like what I'm doing, hit the like, hit the share, or hit the thumbs down if you feel so inclined, as long as your motherfucking ass subscribe and tell a motherfucker about me. Out of here! Why are you standing here? This video is not even about you. Let's at least see Batman as we close out of this video. How about that? All right, just pass gas. All right, straight. I'm out here.